Chapter 9. Saturday morning, I had nowhere to be, no schedule to keep, so when Devin got up to leave for work, I kissed him goodbye, then rolled over and went back to sleep. I woke hours later to the sun shining on my face. I stretched and rolled far enough that I could open my eyes without being blinded, but I didn't get up yet. Instead, I lay thinking about what I needed to get done today. It had been several days, and I still didn't have any idea when I would have a place and partner to shift Besson. I needed to at least touch base with Bill and the Guidrys on that. I should also check on the progress of the party preparations. Even though Devin said he had it covered, I felt like I should at least offer to help again. Then there was the grocery shopping. I made a face. Shopping wasn't my favorite thing, but someone had to do it if we expected to keep eating, and not eating wasn't an option for shifters. With a deep breath, I threw the covers back and got up. I might as well get started. After showering and throwing on some clothes, I made my way to the kitchen, hoping for a cup of coffee. I wasn't surprised to find Gavin at the small table, sipping from a cup while reading something on his PCD. News or a book? I asked as I shuffled past the table, headed for the coffee pot. News. Anything interesting? I pulled a mug from the cabinet, added a little chocolate syrup to the bottom, and filled it the rest of the way with coffee. Not really. He laid his PCD on the table and turned his attention on me. I sipped from my mug. Well, at least there was nothing about West or Troy there. There was an article about Willie Anderson's disappearance. His family is looking for him and is offering a reward for information on his whereabouts. But nothing on Jessup? Nope, but he has no family in the area to push police and keep the search going. Anderson does. I nodded, thinking it made sense. Anderson was one of the two surviving members of the trio that had murdered Annie. When Brandon had put what he already knew together with the information we'd gathered, he figured out everyone involved. He'd beat the shit out of Anderson, but hadn't gone as far as killing him, like he had Jessup. The third member of the group, Wesley Garza, Brandon hadn't even gotten to when he disappeared. From what Rain had said, his place looked like he'd packed in a hurry. It was likely he'd left in a hurry, with no plans to return. Bill had put the word out to the council that we were looking for them both, but so far we hadn't heard anything. We won't have to worry about it much longer anyway. I shrugged. Only 8 days left until the party. Speaking of, is there anything I need to help with? I think we've got it covered, but I'll check with the Theron to be sure. I frowned. I didn't think of Devin by his title. I thought of him as Devin, my husband or my mate, though the whole mate concept was relatively new to me. I'd only known about the phenomenon for about 6 months, where I'd been using the term husband for nearly 30. Husband was the word that more commonly came to mind, but the relationship wasn't quite the same. There's a bond with a mate, more so in a sealed mating, that just isn't there in a normal human marriage. Sometimes I can feel his emotions, sense his thoughts, and once in a while feel his physical pain, and he could feel the same from me. The bond goes both ways. Something wrong with that? Gavin asked, still watching me. No, I just don't think of him like that. I mean, yeah, I know that's what he is, but it throws me when someone I see every day, someone I spend as much time with as I do with you, calls Devin by his title. He's just Devin to me. I gave him a half-hearted smile, shrugged and went to the fridge to find something to eat. Sorry. He's told me to call him Devin, and I sometimes do, but once in a while it's just more natural to use his title. I guess I could understand when talking about Bill to some people like the Guidrys, I used his title, but not when I talk to people like Gavin or Alexis. I just call him Bill, but then I'd been calling him Bill all my life. He'd been my father's best friend and like a second father to me. Don't worry about it, it's not important. I'll get used to it. You sure? I looked around the refrigerator door, at him. Yeah, I'm sure. All right. He picked his PCD up again. What's the plan for today? I've got a few calls to make and some shopping to do. That's all I can think of right now. No problem. Let me know when you're ready to go, or if you need something before then. Will do. I pulled ingredients from the fridge, took them to the counter, and started putting something together. After eating, I went in the bedroom to call Bill. Do I have a time and place to shift Besson yet? I asked after exchanging greetings. Not yet. Bill's voice was clear over the small electronic device. Is there something wrong? Is there some reason it's taking so long? He was quiet for a moment. I've just been busy, I haven't had time to get it done. His voice was off, as if he wasn't telling me the exact truth. As pack leader, he didn't have to justify himself to me, and I didn't ask him to. I'll try to get to it and let you know when and where this afternoon. All right. I'll call the Guidrys, let them know we haven't forgotten them, and that things are still in the works. That's fine. I'll be in touch when I get it all set up. Thanks. I put in a quick call to Beau Guidry and left a message when he didn't answer. Frustrated with the lack of progress, I went back into the kitchen for another cup of coffee. I filled my cup and sat at the table across from Gavin. I sipped the dark liquid, frowned at the wall, and waited for inspiration to hit. What's wrong? He asked. I don't know. I looked into the cup in front of me. I want to get this guy shifted, get it over with, and it's not going to happen. Not as quickly as I want. Why such a hurry? I don't know. I'm just impatient to get it done, I'm not sure why. I could feel his eyes on me, watching me. When's the last time you shifted? I don't know. I shook my head, brushing off his question with little thought as I tried to figure out what was wrong with me. Think about it. I turned and looked at him, actually thinking about what he'd said. It took me a while. At first, I couldn't remember the last time I'd shifted. It hadn't been recent. The more I thought about it, the more I came to realize that the last time I'd shifted had been more than 2 months earlier, before I'd lost the baby. After I'd miscarried, Alexis had told me that I didn't need to shift to heal. I heal rapidly, even for a shifter, and she'd told me I didn't need to. I hadn't minded, because I hadn't felt like shifting at the time. At the time, I didn't want to do anything. 2 months, a little more. I should have thought of that. You've had a lot on your mind, he said with a sad smile. That didn't really help. I drank the last of my coffee and looked at the clock. It was nearly noon. Let me call Devin, then we can get our shopping done. No problem. Let me know when you're ready. In the bedroom, I dialed my mate and waited while it rang. Hey baby, what's up? The sound of his voice warmed me. It made me feel better when I'd thought nothing could. What have you got planned for this evening? I asked. Nothing. Thought I'd spend some time with my mate. You have something in mind? I'd like to go for a run, if it's okay. Why wouldn't it be? I enjoy spending time with you, it doesn't matter what form we're in. I don't know. I just wanted to run it by you, see if maybe we could manage it. No problem. We'll go after I get through here. I should only be another couple hours. All right. Gavin and I are gonna go out for a bit, but we should be home before you are. All right, I'll see you then. Love you, baby. Love you too. I waited until I heard the call disconnect, then dropped my PCD in my purse and went back out to Gavin.